Vaera Ravi. So now the Makkah goes down to Tzfardea. Will take us till Chamishi. In Tzfardea, the Rishonim point out an interesting thing, that by the Tzfardea it says, Hine anochi noigev as kol gvulcha b'tzfardim, in Pasuk Chav Zayin. It points out the word gvul. Gvul, I think the Rabbi Bechai says that this is one of the only makkahs, or the only makkah where it says the word gvul. Which, Mirz Hashem in Parshas Boy, it's going to say gvul by Arba, so I'm not sure, I have to look at the Lashon inside. But Chazal already point this out, and they say because Mitzrayim always had an argument with their neighbor Cush about where the boundary was. Mitzrayim wanted to claim more territory than it was actually belonged to them. And because the Tzfardim only filled up the gvul, the boundaries of Mitzrayim, and they didn't go to where the actual wall was, so Cush understood that their gvul is actually much larger than Mitzrayim claimed. So that's why it says gvul. So somebody asked the Chabina Rav, by Makas Arba, by the locust, it also says gvul. So what are you going to explain over there? So he said something ga'oinus, I'm going to share with you. The Gemara in Bay on Daf Chav Hey, it says that Yeshua, to be misamen and to point out the gvulim of Eretz Yisrael, he planted a certain tree called the Tachav tree. It seemed like that was the customary tree to be used to be misamen a border, this tree, Tachav tree. So he says that Mistama, Cush, now that the frogs gave us the exact parameters of what the borders of Egypt were, they probably planted trees there so that there shouldn't be any future machlekes, that this is where the border ends, this is where it begins. The Makkah right before Makas Arba is Makas Bara, and it says by Makas Bara that all the trees in Mitzrayim were destroyed. So the argument returned. Where's the border? Mitzrayim said, no, it's not here. We have another 2 miles. You're encroaching. So what happened was Hashem made that by Makas Arba it says Gvul again, so that they should know where the Gvul is and they could replant those Tachav trees to be Masam in the border. So says the Chabina Rav that I have a bomb raya from Tehillim. In Tehillim in Kapitel Kuf Hey, where it talks about the Makkos, very short. So in Pasuk Lamed Beis and Lamed Gimel, it says over there, Nasan Gishmehem Borod, Eish Hava Ba'artzam, Hashem rained down on them Borod. It says, Vayach Gafnam Useinasam, and it destroyed the Geffen and the Te'ena trees, Vayeshaber Eitz Gvulam, and it destroyed the trees in their Gvul. So we translate it, you think, all the trees in the Gvul of Mitzrayim. So he goes, no, it means the Eitz, all the trees that were used for the Gvul, all the border trees, the Tachav trees that are used to be Misam in the Gvul, were also destroyed by the Makkah of Barad. And that's why, by Makas Arba, once again, we needed this nace. And the Sfarim say that by the Tzfardim, they got a reward. The ones that jumped into the oven didn't die. All the other Tzfardim that were in the beds and everywhere, they died. Except for the ones that jumped into the fire, they had this chus of returning to the Ya'ar, to the river. By the Klovim, when Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim, it says, they didn't bark. They got reward also, that any time a Yid shechts an animal, and if it's a treifa, you throw it to the dogs. So then those dogs and the descendants for all future generations are reaping the benefits of their great-grandfather, the dogs that didn't bark. So it seems a little bit strange. The frogs that jumped into the oven have much more of a schus than the dogs who didn't bark. So how come the dogs get a much bigger schar? So as far as say that you see from here, it's possible that it's easier to jump into an oven than to keep your mouth shut. So we should be zeicher to keep our mouth shut. That takes us till Chamishi.